Hi, everybody. Meteorologist Joe Cioffi. Weather in 5 days in 5 minutes. It's a Saturday, and I just came in from a little bit of leaf work outside because it's cold. And we do have a cold high that has built on in. It's over just north of Lake Huron. You can see these isobars here that go around the high. There's a few of them here. So the gradient is on the tight side, and we have the front is out way out in the ocean, and that all leads down into a coastal storm that is sitting off the North and South Carolina coastlines. As far as the weather is concerned for today, there are no issues here in the area from Northeast Virginia all the way up into southern New England. It's really all about this cold high that has built in, and that is going to hold temperatures down quite a bit for today. And when we are going to switch over to the satellite loop, and that high has actually pushed the cloud line pretty far to the south. The northern extent of the clouds from the coastal low, running from southern Delaware, the Delmarva Peninsula, down into southeastern Virginia, and even the rain that was going on in eastern North Carolina has abated. It has pulled southward as the coastal low has sort of dropped southward. There's a upper air feature. You can see the spinning here of the clouds along the Georgia coast. So that's where you're going to probably see your surface low wind up today in a pretty much stalled position. And in the meantime, we've got plenty of dry air to work with here, with the skies mostly clear all the way down into the Gulf states and then all the way back up to the Great Lakes. It's just sort of a giant finger, and that's that high pressure cell doing its job of forcing dry air southward from southeastern Canada and from New England. But the problem is it's cold air. Temperatures today are not going to get out of the 30s, and we have a cold night of weather ahead of us. Now, with respect to what's happening down in the Carolinas right now, as we said, much of the rain has disappeared in North Carolina. We're seeing a little bit down along the Georgia coast because the surface low has dropped further to the south. As far as here in the Northeast, there's not a thing to worry about from Maine all the way down into Virginia and even into northern North Carolina, at least for now. No rain in that area, but we are going to see some rain back in westward from off the ocean as we go through the rest of the day. So looking at how this plays out, I think the biggest issue for our neck of the woods, you go further north from Delaware on up into southern New England, is the potential for some coastal flooding here, particularly Sunday into Sunday night, early Monday. As far as areas down to the southeast coast with this low, you see how it just kind of sits here all day long. It's waiting for the high to pull out. If you look where that high is, it's just basically enveloped itself around the surface low, and we're getting this cold, dry flow that runs down into Virginia, while this coastal low is just kind of waiting for that high to pull out so it could begin its move up toward the northeast, and it is going to do that. The other thing about this is that I think the low swings out to the east before it turns to the north, and that actually is a positive for Sunday for sure, because it keeps the rain from northeast Virginia to southern New England. We probably won't see a drop of rain tomorrow unless we get something that comes in at the low levels of the atmosphere with a more of an east wind, that you get a little patchy light rain or drizzle. But other than that, I really think it's going to be, just a cloudy, raw type of day and no steady rain. It's Sunday night into Monday that rain backs in westward. And even though it backs in westward, we talked about yesterday how, that western edge was not going to get that far to the west. And I think that it is going to be the case. The low is just far enough out that it is going to be minimal to no impact once you go west of the New Jersey-Pennsylvania line. So it's just a cloudy, raw day on Sunday with temperatures that'll be in the 40s. Now, for southeastern New England and points northward, here's where the low is going to be a lot closer to you. So you're going to get into some of this rain here, this steadier rain on the order of maybe a couple of inches in some places from Sunday night into Monday night. And in the northern fringe of that, you might actually go to a little bit of mixed precip or even some snow before it's all said and done. See what happens here on Tuesday in parts of northeastern New York. I don't think Tuesday morning, I don't think that's out of the question as the low lifts on up into Canada. So the rainfall amounts through Monday, and again, much of what you see here is really for Sunday night and for Monday. Minimal rainfall amounts of a quarter of an inch or less from just west of coastal New Jersey and the Hudson Valley. You start going west into Pennsylvania and south down to Washington, D.C., Baltimore. The rain is minimal. It picks up in southeastern New England. And of course, we're seeing some hefty rainfall amounts continuing in eastern North Carolina. The main surge of rain that's coming in for later today, tonight, into tomorrow morning. That's going to produce quite a bit of rainfall here on the Outer Banks on the order of 5 inches or more. And inland rainfall amounts are going to be on the order of 1 inch to 2 inches. So more wet weather and stormy weather to go for the for the Carolina coast. And with respect to what we're seeing as far as watches and warnings, by the way, we still have high wind warnings. There have been some gusts during this morning of 50 to 60 miles an hour at some of the buoys just offshore. Outer Banks gusts have been on the order of 30 to 40 miles an hour, and they're going to pick up a bit. And you'll see these coastal flood warnings up through southern Delaware, and then we have coastal flood watches for New Jersey on up from Cape May to Middlesex County and counties, and also for the south shore of Long Island for the high tides for Sunday. Not so much the high tides coming up for today, although they will be running higher than normal during today, and we have various coastal flood advisories. Moderate coastal flooding, by the way, is forecast for the high tides coming later Sunday night, and into Monday. Okay, there's your weekend. I think for most of you, it's going to be rain-free. If you're watching from eastern North Carolina and from the Outer Banks, well, you got some more storminess to get through. Download my free weather apps, the meteorologist Joe Cioffi weather app and Angry Ben's weather app, the Angry Weatherman. They're all available for you to follow the weather, and we have weather posts coming up throughout the day. Weather videos are on the app. My nighttime YouTube live stream, you can watch it from the app as well. So be sure you have it. It'll come in handy for winter weather. And of course, don't forget that there's also, for those of you who are really super into weather, I mean really super into weather, there's my weather platform on Patreon, and that's just $2 a month. It really helps to support the apps and keeping them free and keeping ads down to a minimum. The subscriptions on the Patreon platform start at $2 a month, and it's patreon.com/meteorologist Joe Cioffi. And there's actually one other way, if you'd like. You can support for 99 cents a month by clicking the Facebook supporter button on the bottom of this video. That's just $1 a month. It's half of what it costs to get a cup of coffee at Starbucks, or as I like to call it, $4. And again, it helps that 99 cents goes a long way in keeping ads on the app and to a minimum, and keeping the app for free. Thanks for those of you who have supported me. I really appreciate it, and got much more to come as we go into the winter months. I got a lot of ideas ahead. Have a great day, everybody.